Well, hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show. It's the one and only Jaffa. And Big Stevie, how are we doing, gentlemen?
Hi, Ox, how you doing? Thanks for having me on again. Hi, Stevie, how you doing, mate?
Well, Big Stevie's otherwise engaged. To be right with us, mate. How are you, Jaffa? How's things?
Very well, Ox. Aye, doing great. After Tuesday night's performance, I'm feeling a lot better and a lot better, more medicated from football.
Medicated. Aye, I think Fox was trying that last night. Maybe think about it myself. What did you make of Tuesday, Jaffa?
I thought, I've probably heard yourself on the show, I think, last night, Ox. I don't think it was the greatest of performance, but I think overall the result there was a lot of good things about the performance. I thought the way we started was absolutely bang on the money. I thought the tempo was brilliant. I thought the attitude was brilliant. And I thought the press, more importantly, was really good. And we got, right at the end of the half, we got our rewards. And that changed the game. It was a Stonewall penalty. So, it is what it is. The defender handled the ball. And, we got the pen in Tavernier. I mean, what a penalty it was. It was a beauty, wasn't it?
Aye. Big pressure, done it again. Hopefully.
Yes.
Stevie's joined us. Are you with us now, Stevie?
Can you hear me okay, lads?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear. Carry on. How you doing, big man?
Brand new. How are you this evening, Jaffa? Brand new, son?
Brilliant, Stevie. Good to hear you again, mate. And good to be on Rangers Radio, of course.
Certainly is.
Was that you having a meeting with Boyce and Trigger there?
Certainly was, yes, about my broom, yes. It's a different broom I've got. It's 300 different shafts, 4 brushes. That was brilliant.
That must be some board meeting, that,
As they have, mate. It's a blind leading the blind, just let's say.
Right. I was just saying to Jaffa, what did they make of Tuesday? What was your thoughts, Stevie?
What can I say about my team? I was over the moon bearing when I left Ibrox. They were under a hell of a lot of pressure, Ox, to get the result after their display during the week. And my God, we got it 3 goals for, none against, £5 million, mere minutes and legs, no injuries, we move on. I was on an absolute high coming out of Ibrox, but see, when I listened to some of the negativity, I couldn't believe it. The boy, let's be honest, before the game, the ball was kicked, I was like, I'm not too sure we're going to turn this around. The way we've been playing, first half Livingston, first half Kilmarnock, after watching the display earlier, I wasn't too sure. I wasn't getting in there with confidence. But the team ran their guts out and they played well in parts. All the new boys had a good hand in the game. But just some of the negativity, man. We need to get a grip. They get through, they done the business. As I said, there was a hell of a lot of pressure on the Mox and they came through with flying colours. I was delighted. I mean, Tom Lawrence was the man for me on the night and followed up with Tillman. The 2 boys were brilliant on the night. I was delighted. The crowd, the support, take a bow. They sang the whole way through the A to Z. Absolutely fantastic. But when I came out and I was in the car, I was coming home.
I get the point, Jaffa. I get you saying that, listen, you never get a perfect game of football, but we won 3-0. That's all it counts, really.
That's all that matters, Ox. As I said, if you take the first 45 minutes in isolation, before the penalty, the tempo was brilliant. The attitude that they started the game with was brilliant. The press was high. I mean, I was sitting down in the West Enclosure box. I had a brilliant view of our front line. Kolak and his movement off the ball was, I have to say, absolutely second to none. The guy never stopped for 45 minutes in that first half. He didn't have a breath.
Can I ask you a question then, Jaffa? Would you have seen the kind of runs if you'd been sitting watching it on the TV?
Oh, no chance, no.
There you go. You've come away thinking that guy's gave his all, had a right good game, and if you watch it on the telly, you're thinking he's not involved. It's 2 different pictures, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, aye, and that's the beauty when you attend a live football match, and in particular, you attend in our stadium walks. I mean, if you're a Rangers fan, you obviously want to see it, but some people can't get to the game. I understand that.
We know that.
Television's getting beamed all over the world, of course, but I mean, the movement of Kolak, and I have to say, John Lundstrom in the first half in the middle of the park was brilliant. He was the guy that orchestrated the press. He was absolutely brilliant in the first half, as he was in the second half. He had a great game, and I agree with Stevie. I thought Tillman was brilliant, and I thought that the standout was Tom Lawrence.
Tillman will grab the headlines with that leap, Stevie. Yeah?
Unbelievable. What's the boy been eating? What's he been eating? How did he get up there? That's what I want to know. Absolutely fantastic leap. And he read the cross well, but what was it? Let's be honest, what was the keeper doing a wee bit? I'm not taking it away from Tillman. The big goalie he played out his skin. He made 2 or 3 tremendous saves on the night. And but what was he doing for the header? But we'll take that all day long.
Last time I seen the leap like that was Southside's been announced happy over the Blackpool, mate, you know.
2 free tickets for the ghost train.
Lads, I'm going to run something by you. Somebody sent me it last night. I never used it last night, but I just want to see what you think, and I'm sure this might bring a smile to Mr. Fox's face. Right, okay. Goal contributions to club football since in 2017-18 season, yeah?
Yep.
Right. Erling Haaland, 164. Luis Suarez, 160. This is goals plus goals made, yeah? Lukaku, 152. Kevin De Bruyne, 150. James Tavernier, or should I say James Henry Tavernier for Robert, 147.
Wow.
To a right back.
Oh. Is that the company that man's keeping? Dearie me. Now, cast your mind back, Ox. I said when we were all talking about we worried was Kent gone, position gone, and cast your mind back, and I says, nobody's ever mentioned this, but does anybody think somebody might come in for James Tavernier and get maybe 2 or 3 years out of the guy? Listen, that's unbelievable stats. Is that 100%, Ox? Aye.
No, I just made that up and shouted it out. No, of course it's 100%.
That's dream stuff for a right back, isn't it? That's unreal, man. That's unreal. No one of you says Fox will be happy. He'll be hanging by the ceiling.
Aye. Jaffa.
Interesting. Ridiculous, Ox. I mean, that's staggering. Absolutely staggering. I mean, all those other players that you rhymed off there are all forward players. They're all midfielders. They're forward players. They're in striker positions. James Tavernier's a right back. He's a right back. And that puts that into context. I mean, not surprising with the amount of goals that he contributes to our club. But it's staggering. And I agree with Stevie. I don't like talking about Tav that much because it might put the light bulb on for a few people and a few managers down south. Tavernier's given us he owes us nothing. His return to Rangers has been sensational.
Aye, in that time, I accept it. Defenders will make mistakes, of course they do, and he might have cost a dozen goals. But he's well in credit, Stevie. Here,
they have. Can I just say something off the top of my head here? Maybe I'm wrong now. I don't even know who is playing at Manchester United, but see the way they're playing now. You try to tell me Tav couldn't walk into their team with that background, with that the stats and the way Tav.
He's 6 weeks pre-season, and us 3 could get in the Man United team.
Wait me hear a few English boys falling up there after that. Brilliant.
On the subject of Tav, lads, I don't know if you watched the highlights from last weekend's EPL matches. His younger brother, Marcus, who's just signed for Bournemouth, was taking a free kick, and I don't know if it was he's got the identical run up to taking the free kick as what his big brother James has. I found that fascinating. I thought that was brilliant. Absolutely identical.
Am I right in saying that he went for 10 million quid to there?
You're right, aye.
It's no bad. I hope Tav's talking to him. I hope Tav's in his ear.
Just imagine the big money their ma's getting now.
And I'll tell you another thing. I'm glad he signed up with a team because he got a ticket per part. He'd be only get it on her. Tav's young brother. He was spied in the crowd.
You're no better, are you?
I know. I'm still looking for one for Easter Road. It's absolute bedlam trying to get tickets, mate. Unreal. You know, and then you'll get in there and it'll be empty, won't it? Three different.
It's going, mate. There's another maybe 3,000 seats if they could just distribute it properly, you know, and let 3,000 people get in it. It's revenue. I don't understand it. I really don't, Stevie, you know.
Listen, Southside will tell you to carry on. I take my hat off to Southside. Between me and my boy, Southside helps us to get a lot of tickets, man. But he'll tell you the ticket thing is just, the Rangers fans are just mad for their team, and we can't, obviously you can't please the size of the support, but man, see when you get into your phone, I mean, on a normal away game, I'll probably phone my pals in London, Belfast, Newcastle, wherever. There's Ranger Corby, Big Mark down in Corby, and I'll ask, he's any spare? Aye, he's no gone, we'll meet you outside the Grun and all this. It's absolute bedlam, mate. And then when you get into the Grun, you think about what you've had to do to get a ticket, and you look round that stadium and it's empty. Absolutely empty. You're gone. But Scottish football's eating itself from the inside out.
I agree, mate. I agree. That's a whole debate. Maybe we'll have it one time when we play an international break with Scottish football's trying to do. But I agree. I just don't get a sense.
Can I just also say, I hear Kilmarnock started their carry on again. Something to do with the amount of season tickets they've sold. They're not going to give up the two ends now for the Old Firm. I don't know if there's any truth in that. But I was talking to a boy I work with, and he supports the Dart side, and he was saying something about, I think they're only going to get one end down there now. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going to happen.
And what will happen if you add the people in the three stands? They'll no fill two of them, mate. And that's where it's sensible. Jaffa, you like your numbers just quickly. It doesn't make economic sense, does it?
I for the life of me, Ox, I mean, I know we've touched on this on a number of occasions on the show. If you're running that, and listen, let's not be kidding about it, all football clubs are businesses. I know they're football clubs, I know they're part of the community, but in essence, they're businesses. And if you're the MD or the CEO of that business, and you've got the potential to make an extra, I don't know whether it's 30 grand, 90 grand, 200 grand, whatever it is, in the case of Easter Road, as Stevie says, the cameras pan round it and there's empty seats all over the place. It defies logic. It utterly defies logic. But they're getting away with it and they continue to do it. And I don't understand it and never will understand it. But it's exactly as you said, they're eating themselves from within. And that is unsustainable. It's cuckoo.
Wait till we see if it ever comes about that you can make your own TV deals. Then there'll all be trouble,
Oh man,
Aye. I don't get it, Stevie. But we're a victim of our own success, and obviously stadiums have changed in the modern era. And I think it was yesterday or the day before, 46,000 MyJers members. I know all of us involved here are on MyJers, you know, but some people are in it for tickets, some people are in it to donate to the club, some people are in it to be part of the club. You know, there's different issues, you know. What's your views on the scheme?
My views on MyJers?
Your views.
Absolutely fantastic. The club's found a way to get the Bears to dig into their pockets for different things to accumulate points. It's just, if you have business sense for Rangers, it's absolutely genius. They're getting, what is it? I think is it 14-20 or I can't mind what I pay. I pay it faithfully every year. But it's the fun way of getting the everyday Rangers fan to buy stuff, certain things. I mean, I seen a thing there that released, I think it was a women's season tickets for their games. And you get so many MyJers points for buying that. Now, see if I could afford that, I'd have probably bought that, give it to one of my wee nieces, and I would have just took the points. Lovely jubbly, everybody's a winner. But me personally, I think it's a great scheme. I get my team.
Of course, Rangers Radio cannot condone people flouting the system, Jaffa, can we? You know?
Everybody, come on. Come on, then you get me doing as a big bad wolf again. Come on. Everybody.
I think you'll find the marketing department designed it that way, Stevie, for exactly that reason, because they probably know the majority of us would go, I'm only 8 points or 10 points away from getting myself into bronze or getting myself up into gold.
Well, it must be true, because Southside left the Lassies game at 13-0 at the weekend. He was gutted he missed a goal.
Talking about Mr. Southside, by the way, the very man get deducted 10 points. Now, we'll just leave it there. But he's made up for his 10 points with the new launch of the Southside sauce. I know Subway's got Southwest sauce, so he's went for the Southside sauce now. And
he's struggling when he tried to launch the market, and it's not went very well. SS sauce. You know what I mean? Anyway, enough about him. Right, okay. What's your views on Majors, Jaffa, with his numbers, the concept? You know, people get different views. I accept that.
I think it's a great concept, Docs, to be honest with you, for a variety of different reasons. One, it obviously brings the club closer to the fan that's not a season ticket holder. So you're invested. Even if whatever it costs, I can't remember if it was £60 this year. So you're invested in it, and you're not only that, you're then on the database. So you're getting fired emails about all sorts of different things. So the whole media around the club you're involved in it, and you're part of it. And I know a lot of season ticket holders that are also Majors members, but there's a lot of non-season ticket holders. Probably, I would imagine maybe a good 25 to 30,000 in that 46,000 are probably not season ticket holders. So it's a way, exactly Stevie said, of getting another £60 per season out of them. And I have to say, for a lot of younger fans as well, and I have a few in my family, they quite enjoy getting the wee gift every year that they get from them, whether it's a scarf or they get a birthday card on their birthday and various other things. I think it's a great scheme. I really, really do. I can't praise it enough.
Can I come in, Ox?
Yes, just before you come in, I get my birthday card with Gerard on the front of it the day he left.
Was it no,
carry on, Stephen. It's true.
I'm just backing up what Jaffa's saying. What we've got to remember here is how many Gers fans is there outside the UK, right? Now, when you think of that, they all want to feel part of the club, and it's given them something to feel part of the club. They're getting emails, they're getting kept in touch with what's going on, they're getting their wee gifts sent to the door, they feel part of Rangers if you're in Australia, South Africa, Canada, America, so on. And by the way, no chili, I tell you, I was delighted with the challenge on Saturday. Oh, brilliant. So it was. Absolute brilliant. It's 12 of them all roaming about the lounge. But anyway, the boys in Chile, it made them feel part of something, innit? So we've got to just stop looking at snow season ticket holders and Rangers families worldwide. And all these guys, I would love to know out the 40, what did you say, 46,000? 46,000 Rangers members. How many of them are outside the UK? It'd be pretty frightening, by the way. And it's a way for them to feel part of the club too, you know.
But also, you have got younger members of your family, and maybe once they get that, they might not be a season ticket holder. They might not choose them, but life might be different. They might be a fan of the club forever, but they might be a member of that for life.
Look, the way I see it, Ox, is there's pros and cons with everything you do in life, right? And my jersey's the same, but I think it's more good for our club than bad. The only thing you hear all the Bears moaning about is I've not had an away ticket yet off of my jersey, right? Now I'm the same. I've not had one. But when you think of all the good it does, open days for the Waynes, everybody around the world getting wee gifts and everything else, you get 10% off certain things in the shop for my jersey are first to get in there, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of pros and cons, you know. And I think, to be honest, it's a kind of 85% good, and maybe that wee bit where the distribution of tickets is always going to be an issue. It's just down to the size of our support box, nothing more. No matter what you put in place, somebody's not going to be happy.
Okay. Aye, I get it. I get. I don't know how you solve the ticketing, Jaffer. I just don't know how you solve that when supply massively outstrips demand. Is that right? Demand outstrips supply. Sorry, yeah, massively, yeah.
I don't think that's I think that'll always be the biggest issue for the club on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis, Ox. And unfortunately, the more successful the club becomes when it goes through these periods, like it has with getting to the Europa League final last year, when we all, travelled all over Europe, and a great number of us went to Seville, and you see
travelled. You'd ever moved there for sunbed for 2 days? You didn't even stay in the digs.
I'll have to correct you there. It was 5 days I never moved after sunbed.
Travelled. Oh, get me this, get me that. Oh, we went. No. Carry on, John.
Oh yeah, I think that'll always be the big issue for our club, is satisfying the fan base, and the reality is it's how best you manage it. The guys that go to away games, like Stevie's talking about, try to get tickets for Easter Road. The other week there was try to get tickets for the opening day at Livingston. I mean, give Livingston their credit. At least they fill their ground up. At least they give Rangers all the tickets and that lot to say, look, you're as well having it, because we're as well with the money. I mean, they pocketed £250,000 that day.
Correct. Smart move, if you ask me. It looks better on the telly. It's better for trying to sell the product, better for Scottish football. It helps enable the team you're playing to get more players, and that extra 3,000 people at one game will outstrip another 100 season tickets. That's the problem they've got, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see. I think the concept's good. I've not got the answers on the ticketing, Stevie. I just don't know how you do it and make it perfect, because it's never going to. You're not going to. If you get 1,000 and you're 1,001, 1,001's no happy, are they?
Correct. I mean, the horror stories for Seville, there were certain guys on, just say for talking's sake, it was 1,650. You'd guaranteed a ticket. Some guys were 1,648. And they weren't getting one.
I mean, I think Rangers missed a trick there. I think they should have cut it off at 1,690 myself, but that's another story.
Oh, you old fashioned. Brilliant. Aye. I mean, it's just, listen, we're talking about widening Bahrain Stadium. We're talking about, there's that much demand, we're talking about expanding Ibrox. Whether we're digging down or whether we're going to add a tier, who only knows? But I'll tell you what, I could probably fling my hat in the ring and say, if we added 3 tiers onto the two that's already there between the Broomlin, the Govan and the Copeland, I will fill it. We will fill it. It'll not be like them across the city putting banners there in certain games and all that. We will fill Ibrox. The demand is unreal. If people are more relaxed and they know they can get a season ticket every year, they'll just go and do it. Some people will not bother with it because there's a fight, but if they're there, they'll buy them.
And also, you maybe say, I'll not go because I can't go and sit next to Jaffa, my mate. Yeah, Jaffa.
Yeah, absolutely. Aye, for that reason. I think it's probably inevitable that Rangers will expand the size of the stadium within the next 5 years. I would think there'll be some works done in the stadium because we're losing out in revenue for the same reasons you've just said there, Stevie and Ox. I mean, if we added on another 10,000 seats, another 10,000 season ticket holders, that's I don't know exactly what the numbers would be. What are you talking about? Another £8 million a year in season tickets.
Aye, something like that. Say 6 minimum, yeah, depending what the seats are. Depends how much hospitality's in there as well, Jaffa, yeah.
Yep. But from an investment point of view, Ox, if you've got that, say over, you financed it over a 10-year period,
when's your break even? When's your break even?
Exactly.
Profit?
Yeah. And obviously the stadium's it's there for the next 20, 30 years before redevelopment needs to take place. It certainly makes business sense and number sense, but I personally speaking, I would love to see them extend the size of Ibrox. I think it would be great if they did that, particularly what Stevie's just suggested there. But I've heard various things that the three stands, are not constructed in the way that another tier can go on top. I don't know how true that is. I think at one of the open days that question was posed, and I think they spoke about it was probably better at one of the AGMs to go down the way rather than go up the way.
Right, okay. All right. I suppose that could be the same in all things in life, depending on what you're saying. Right, let's get these phone lines open. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay. Right, okay, great points. Stevie, with Craig Houston on a few weeks ago, and he obviously talking about Coggy 1872, and see if there was something, and if there was investment and you could put money in every month and it was gone to do something in the stadium, I would gladly get involved with that, mate. If the project was right, if you knew it was a legacy, passing it on to the future generations where you're bringing in more revenue and the stadium's in a better place, I would gladly get involved in that.
Ox, I'll fling this at you. Rangers build a museum. They ask all the Bears £150 to become a life member. How many life members have they got now?
Aye.
Fans will buy into anything they're doing. Craig Houston carried himself brilliantly on the show, by the way, and I'd like to thank Craig for coming on. I know the guy personally. But listen, if Rangers start hinting, and we know the money's genuinely gone into our club, the blue dollar will flow, mate. The blue dollar will go, to help the Bears. If Rangers themselves came out and says to Bears, look, we're looking for £20 off every blue nose, they would get an envelope for this house. We'd probably get 3 or 4 envelopes for this house for everybody in here. No, they wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, if I had out my head, if they did do it, then I would certainly begin them. I just love the club. I love everything about it. It's my happy place. See, when the Rangers score and my boy turns around and flings his arms in as the twos are doing the bouncy, there's no greater feeling on earth. Just let me tell you that right now. And all the Bears out there that have got boys and Waynes that go to the game with them, lassies that go to the game with them, they'll understand what I'm saying to them. So anybody starting anything at all that's going to help our club, the blue dollar will flow right through it.
Aye. Maybe this is not the right time with what's coming to people economically, Jaffa, hopefully, but when we commit to it. But look, the club will do a feasibility study. It'll all be doing where it's worthwhile. When you make it, if it's going to take you 20 years to break even, I don't know if it's a good idea, but because they've got to safeguard the future of the club. But look, I'm sure they're looking at all avenues, mate.
I'm sure they are, Ox. In fact, I think I was recalling my thoughts there. That was discussed last year at the AGM, and you're exactly right. There was a feasibility study taking place. Stuart Robertson spoke about it, about evaluating the going down the way dropping the stadium down, maybe 3 or 4. I think maybe 3 or 4 rows of seats, but I think it was adding about 6,000 or somewhere around about that to the size of the stadium. And I think they thought that was the least expensive and the least amount of engineering. But as you say, I'm sure we'll hear about it in time if it's a goer and it's something that can happen. But I'm convinced that the stadium will expand in size. I've no doubt about that. I think the clubs will have much better financial footing, as we all know now and we all agree. So the future's bright, as they say.
Yeah. Right, okay. I don't know how we go on to that subject. It just shows you where you go when you go down a rabbit hole in it. Right, okay. What's that, mate?
It says, as long as we don't dig lower the Clyde, we're in trouble. But need to watch the Clyde, that's what it's all about. You can't get down any further on the Clyde or water does they run away, that's carry on. So, look, 3 rows wouldn't really do it for me. I'm wanting the corners fault and the tellies off skate. Oh, tiers right round the stadium would be absolutely brilliant. I get cost and we'll go to watch the business side of things and everything else, and that's probably the cheaper option digging down. But come on, see if we're going to do it. We're Glasgow Rangers, let's do it right. And you know yourselves, I've always had a dream where that school is across with the Balstruth main stand in that pitch. Can you imagine a big Rangers hotel there? With a big helicopter pad, with a big Rangers badge on it, flying players in and out, helicopters, boys coming from Canada, Belfast, South Africa. You want to stay in the Rangers hotel? It's all Rangers themed, all your heroes all through it. Your pillows, your Union Jack, your blinds. Come on, man. You're allowed to dream, man. How amazing would that be? Who would want to stay in another hotel? You're coming to match day, your room, your ticket comes with it. Unbelievable, the stuff you can get away with, weddings, everything in it. Unreal. I have a dream. Who said that? If it was Martin Luther.
Aye, we like the Luthers, didn't we? We like the Luthers. All right,
Yes.
Okay, Jaffa, we'll see. We'll watch this space, and people might have different thoughts. People might think, no, the stadium's fine the way it is, but you've constantly got to evolve, mate.
Absolutely. I agree with Stevie. I think the for a cosmetic point of view, and obviously for the business and the monetary side of it, filling the corners in would be absolutely brilliant, and getting it. I mean, the stadium would look. I mean, it already looks brilliant from the inside. It looks absolutely spectacular. And I noticed the seat I was in on Tuesday night, the Blue Sky Lounges, the branding up of it, and all the lighting and everything else, all the low lighting LEDs and everything. It looked absolutely outstanding. I mean, real top end finish on it. It looked great, and only complements the rest of the stadium. So I'm with Stevie on it. I mean, if we could fill those corners in and get another tier in those three stands to match up with the top tier and the main stand, give me that any day. Give me that. Let's get into it. Let's get the fundraising doing it. If they ask the fans to dig deep, I'm sure we would all contribute.
Aye, what are you going to say, Stevie?
I was going to bring you back down to earth. I know I was saying about 3 tiers around the top and the hotel outside and all your heroes and that, but I just wish they would get the pie sorted first,
I'm not hearing good things, mate, about the improvement in the catering. I'm not hearing good things. But
absolute key. That's what it is, mate. They're papering their cracks. They've changed a bit of writing. They've changed a bit of cosmetic stuff where you buy it. And they're trying different things, but it's no what we were expecting at all. Well, it's not what we're expecting at all. Really, the prices are. I don't get the prices. I really don't. You can go to McDonald's and get a cracking, would you call it, a Big Mac meal for a £5. Unbelievable. And in Ibrox, you're lucky if you can get a bother on a packet of crisps for that. No, I don't know how they price it. I don't know how they go about it. But I would like to think the more people buy, the cheaper. No, I mean, if I'm buying 100 badges, surely at £1, if I buy 500, then they come down to 75 pence. Surely. I don't know who's doing homework there. I really don't. I just think the whole gate on side.
Do me a favour. Don't call me Shirley. Jaffa. I don't want to go into people's business life, but something that should be sorted. It's no rocket science, is it?
No, the catering. I bought into a wee bit of it on Tuesday night, and like Stevie, I wasn't impressed. Ox, the food doesn't look as though it's changed up much for me. We had a couple of pies where we were sitting, and a hot dog, and you could have bounced the hot dog. It wasn't great. So, and I don't understand what's so complicated about it. I don't get it. I mean, about catering for that level of fan base twice a week, I just don't understand what's so difficult about it. I could see the force if they were doing that twice a day, but they're not. They're doing it twice a week, and I just don't. I mean, they're picking these partners and they're signing sponsorship deals, and I dare say there's money changing hands and coming into the club, but the club are very much outsourcing it all, and I'm not sure that's the right answer with the catering, because I don't think they're maximising it.
Aye, for me, you've got it right when people meet inside the stadium, mate, and then Stonning are eating in there. That'll be your measure that you get it right.
Ox, can I tell you something? Me and my boy, we're in a routine. Like most families, like most guys get into a wee routine, go to Ibrox. They've got their place where they stand, they hit the thing on the way out, they touch their man dad's brick, they do different things. Now I go to a burger van, mate.
I'm glad you said brick there, Stevie. I came here
I need to be careful how you say it, aren't you? But anyway, I mean, I don't want to go to use stuff outside Ibrox. I would rather go and give Rangers my money. But I'm not getting into giving them money, mate, when it comes to eating, because it's absolute dross. I mean, there's Jaffa's. Jaffa knows a bit about catering. Southside knows a bit about catering.
You know about catering yourself, mate, let's be honest.
Aye, but I'm only a punter. I'm only eating it. These guys know where to go, how to buy it, and what the punters would like, and everything else. I just think we've got fans, Mr. Sings, Indian restaurant. All these guys are all blue noses. There must be more guys in the catering business. Talk to their fans. Get these guys in the outlets. They only want to do good for Rangers, and give them. They'll certainly give Rangers the cut of the money what they're looking for. But would it not be good to go up the Copeland Road and say, you go to that wee bit there, you can get a Chinese, you can go to that bit there, you can get stuff for all the wains and whatever, and then the other bits just like burgers and normal stuff. And, a bit of a choice. It's the same, and it never changes. The pies are minging, the hot dogs are like rubber, door stoppers. And that's just crap. And you get that juice at the machine, and it's all the young lassies and boys, and they don't know how to change them up at the time. There's no gas in them. It's just not right. And it's something that will need looked at again. It really does. But anyway, long as the team's winning in a park, we're happy, aren't we?
It does help, but you're right. For the match day experience, and it's a revenue stream, Jaffa. Let's get it right, eh?
But the thing that fascinates me and always it makes me shake my head in disbelief is we're the creators of pies, right? Scotland is the creators of pies. I know every town and every village and all over Scotland, there's a baker, there's a local guy, or there's a butcher that makes the meanest pie in the world, and we all go and buy our pies there. If you want to have, if that's your diet and you want a couple of pies. You go to Rangers. I don't know where they're getting their pies from, because they're not getting them off any of the local bakers or the local guys that make them, the butchers. So the pies are rank and dry and just tasteless. But they're charging you. I
can only pass you as a pie expert, Stevie.
I can only agree. I think the best pie, from a football point of view, I gave it to Rafe Rovers last year. Their pies were absolutely tremendous. Whenever they're getting them, I'd love the number.
Ross County.
Ross County. And another one, Kilmarnock, you've heard of the Killie pie. That's a cracking wee pie. That's more like it. Give the punters what they want. And as we also said there, Scotland's full of things you could give. You never even see a Turnip's tea cake in Ibrox. How no? No. Listen, there's millions of roads Rangers can get done. I'm sure they should get somebody to sit down and get it right. Talk to our fan base. Their fan base own a lot of businesses that will help them. And there's guys that know what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, see if they put Southside sauce on Ibrox, the place would go do lally for it. The man would be sitting in the director's box the next season.
I'm beginning to wonder what's in that sauce. But anyway, we'll be joined by old Davey, who's always saucy.
Oh, God. Hold on, guys. The tears are running down my face. I thought I tuned into Greg's Bakers there.
You're right. We've been digging down talking about you extended pies.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely. I've not heard that expression for years. It was minging. But I know what I can understand where you're coming from, guys. Just a wee quick. I took my lassie to the Ibrox Suite not that long ago for her birthday. and I was really disappointed. It was pretty, and it was quite expensive. And even in that, I thought the food was garbage. But anyway, what I was going to talk to you about was the match, right? Now that, to me, I heard you saying it, Ox, about obviously the first time I've ever done that, which is a marvellous achievement, marvellous. But you know, it really sticks in my, whatever you want to put it, is people are still not happy with what happened there. And how can you criticise? All right, everybody's got an opinion. Okay, let's have it. But come on, some of these people want to wake up.
I think the trouble is, mate, everybody thinks you're going to play a perfect football game. It doesn't happen. Jaffa?
No, I mean, even in the stadium, I heard some guys, getting in Big Golson's back. Big Golson must have cleared the ball, Davey, on Tuesday night about 10 times. He won clear headers.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant challenges. And he had one wee issue where he misplaced a ball. He knocked it in the middle of the park, and he turned it. Thankfully, nothing happened from it. But they turned over possession. But that's what happens. It's professional football you're playing. And I have to point out as well, and a couple of people have commented on it. Respected people, respected journalists have commented on it. The pace of the game was unbelievable. The pace that game's getting played at and the speed it's getting played at. You can't. A television camera can't capture that, but you can capture it when you're at the stadium, especially when you're sitting down at pitch side. And these guys are running it. I mean, they're running at full pelt the majority of the time, and they're playing in split seconds, tenth of seconds with thought process. Of course, they're going to misplace passes. I think we're overly harsh on occasions, to be honest with you, on our own players. But we've often said it. We're a hard crowd to please, and that's Rangers, and it's notoriously always been that way in the stands at Ibrox. There's always got to be somebody that they want to slaughter, somebody they want to put down. I mean, I even heard them. I was sitting down beside in the corner beside Tav in the second half, and I heard them getting on his back. He just scored as a goal, down in the enclosure, and they're grumping, groaning, and push up and don't do this, and then pass the ball, and he was getting caught, and that doesn't help the players. I can tell you that right now. That does not help the players. You should try and just get behind the team and support the team under any circumstances.
100% agree with that.
All right. So, Stevie spoke to Southside today, and he was saying he was going to put his winnings on the Day United to lose half-time, full-time. They're 4-0 down, mate. So, he's done it again, the biggie.
4-0.
Oh, enough. What is in the sauce? That's what we want to know. What's the secret? But listen, that's great news. Dundee United getting beat 4-0. I hope they get about 8. I hope they get 10 took out of them. I really do. It's a club I'll never forgive. But anyway, getting back to what Davey's saying. Davey, we're the toughest. We could beat Celtic 3-0. The exact same way we beat that team 3-0, and it would be Bell still no happy. That's just who we are. The standards are set. The bar's set that high. I mean, the European run last year, that's the bar set. So everybody naturally thinks, right, we're going to have a good European run this year. Unfortunately, that's not how it happens. Unfortunately, that. Rangers, the players were under so much pressure after that performance the other week, and the boys have come out. All right, we got the goal. It started at half. The boy handballed it. No, it was a bit of luck, let's be honest. We got the penalty, Tav tucked it away. We'll still go to score the penalty. Tav stood up, what a captain does, popped it, and then that gave us a lift getting into the second half. But the pressure on the players to get that through that tie was immense. Make no two ways about it. And for people to come out that game and look at the negatives rather than the positives, some of them really need to go and look in the mirror. Some of them really do. And I'll not take any Rangers fan, I'll not take their opinion off them. But some of them really need to wind their necks in. Yeah. And you'll probably find out, Davey, most of them don't go to the games. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because tickets are hard to come by. But they don't see the bigger picture. See, when you're at the game, as Jaffa says, cameras are only pinning you on one guy. You don't see other players' movements. You don't see who's like Golson. You don't see him talking to the players along the back line, looking after them all and keeping them all going. You don't see that. And up front and all, you don't see Kolac's movement as much. But believe me, fans, we need to mind we're next. We'll need to find right to go in apart and win a game.
Yeah. What I was wanting to just say, you said that very well. I think a lot of people, which just gets me annoyed, is not that long ago we were playing in the third division, and look where we are now, and then they can still criticise. I don't get that. I suppose that's the nature of the beast, but it just annoys me really big time, you know. Yeah.
Well, they're a classic example, Davey. Didn't he right that we're winning 1-0 in the first leg? They went to his adult man, they're getting beat 5-0, I think now. In the first half. Right, they've need to find right, you're not through. Because you're winning 1-0 in the first game. That's only half the tie. And by God, the Rangers took some doing. What?
That'll help the coefficient.
It certainly will, yes. Supercomputers and coefficient. Unbelievable. Brilliant.
Right, where are we? Okay, right. Davey, if you just mind keeping score here, we want to try something tonight. We'll get a few features.
I couldn't at school. You got to forget what age I'm.
Listen, I'm sure you can count, mate. I bet you count the Maltesers every morning to see if she's
well, I'm just telling you, see the other night there when the nurse came in to give me my medication, she had a pair of handcuffs. And I went, oh, this looks good.
But you've no seen her since, you're still stuck to tie the bed.
Aye, she lost the key. Carry on, sorry for interrupting.
Right, okay. Fox, over to Fox.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay, thanks for that, Fox. Look, we're going to try a wee thing. We're going to see how it goes. We don't know if it'll work because we've got different formats we're looking to see if it works. Right, what we're going to do is when somebody phones in, they're going to have a go against one of the panellists. So, David, you phoned in tonight? Yes? So you by choice? Yes. And who would you rather face? The Ducks of Drumchapel or Hamilton's Finest?
I'll go for the Drum.
Right, okay. Stevie versus... right, okay. So, simple. There's general knowledge questions and there's Rangers questions, right? Yeah. Do you want to go first or second, Davey?
I'll go first.
I'll go first, right? Okay.
I'll do a tab.
Because it's you, mate, do you want general knowledge to start with or Rangers?
Well, I'll go Rangers as long as you're not going to give me too modern stuff. I'll go Rangers.
You mean like who scored the third goal on Tuesday night? Is that all right?
No, if you'd ask who scored the third one in Barcelona, I'll give it right away. But on you go, fire away.
Okay.
Right.
Here we go. Which future Rangers player scored for Bradford in the FA Cup against Chelsea in 2015?
2015? I'm trying to think. But no, I've I've not got it.
No, it doesn't come from far away for you, mate.
Well, I know, no, I would be guessing.
Andy Halliday.
No, I wouldn't have got that.
Andy Halliday. One to Stevie. Stevie.
Okay.
Rangers or general knowledge?
I've got to try the famous. I've got to try the Rangers.
Give him a hard one.
Right, okay. Right, I'm just looking for it. Right.
Remember, you can't move off your line.
Right. With the final aggregate score of 2-2, how was the Rangers' 1967 European Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final decided?
2-2. Was that the one that it was, they played extra time and it went to penalty kicks and they won, but Rangers were already through in the away goals, well?
No, Stevie, that was 1972. You've just watched the DVD, you idiot.
I know that one.
Was it?
Was the toss of a coin.
Toss of a coin, was it? There you go.
This is
I could have got that one. That should be a goal with me and you.
David, shut up. Right, okay, so it's general knowledge for your good self now, Davey.
I'll go for that.
Right, okay.
On each.
Right, okay, here we go. Steve, you'll kick yourself. Which city does the liver wagon go through?
Oh, come on.
Dublin.
Oh, Stevie.
Dublin! Oh, Davey, you got don't you?
Right, okay. Davey, tell us the answer.
Belfast.
Right, Stevie, you're up next with general knowledge.
Okay.
What takes place in Hong Kong's Happy Valley?
Ooh.
Happy Valley? Happy Valley?
Come on, hurry up now.
Right, I'm going to say some martial arts for the odd day of martial arts, no?
Horse racing.
Horse racing, there you go. Happy Valley.
I knew that one.
Okay, two each. All right.
Right, go for it.
Right, okay. 3-1 victory against Celtic, January the 2nd, 2002. Oh, I don't think the year's right. I think it was January 2nd, 1997.
97?
Mm-hmm.
The Danish striker? Danish striker? Oh, man. Danish striker? Oh, was there? No, he was this. He was a winner. A winner. Striker.
Come on, this will be 4-2, David.
Give me the question.
Name the Danish striker who scored twice against Celtic, a 3-1 victory in the New Year's game against Celtic, 1997.
97. Oh, man. Is that the big ginger-headed boy? Oh,
I'll have to take that as your final answer, and the answer is Eric Bo Anderson.
Eric, that's what I said. The big ginger-headed guy. Eric Bo. Come on, Oxfam. Come on, you're being bad now.
You can set that as somebody who's strawberry blonde or a Hawaiian sunset, Jaffa. Okay, for the win and the trophy, right? Davey, general knowledge of Rangers.
I'll go general knowledge this time.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Right, okay. Right,
Shelley Rangers.
Who was the last prisoner to be held in the Tower of London?
Tony Blair.
What?
Tony Blair.
Rudolph Hess. Rudolph Hess.
I was close.
Is that right?
I think we'll call that an honourable draw tonight, Jaffer.
Yes, thank you.
Sounds a fair
No.
result.
Davey get 4 questions, I only get 3. How's that a draw?
What?
Davey
You get a point. You get a point half. Right, we'll give you your last general knowledge question. Right, you ready? You're a certainty.
Be a sharp my pencil.
Who invented the bikini?
It was a German guy because he said this will stop them flopping. Oh, come on. Thumbs up.
Third lines, I win.
You won enough.
Louis Reard invented the bikini. There we go. Davey won.
Brilliant. Just send my medal through the post.
All right. Get yourself in. And we're going to have a tune.
Oh, that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Now there's a pub in Green Street where all good proddies you will meet. So come down here and together we'll have a jar. A welcome there you will receive, so good that you won't want to leave. A fine wee pub is Saltcoats Mermaid Bar. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. We all support the Queen and Crown. The prices here are the best in town. The bar staff, they are one terrific crowd. Everyone laughing, full of cheer. It's one tremendous atmosphere. Singing to support the red, white and blue. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. It's nice to come to the Mermaid Bar when Rangers are playing at Ibrox Park. You'll forget your worries and all your cares, singing songs against the Thames before you watch the Rangers win. For everyone here supports the Teddy Bears. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. If you are up from Belfast town, Tyrone, Fermanagh or County Down, Armagh, Antrim or London, Derry shores, the Mermaid is the place for you, so come and have a drink or two. Next time in Saltcoats you'll want to come back for more. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. You'll hear the sash and Derry's walls, just like in your own wee orange halls. The banter here you will enjoy as long as you're a proddy boy. A good time in the Mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the mermaid is had by one and all. A good time in the mermaid is had by one and all.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Are we back, Jeff? Are we back? Stevie, are we back, champ?
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll be joined by AK. How are we doing, AK?
Good evening, Oxchair. Jaffa, Big Stevie and David. How are we doing?
Hi, Alec.
Hi, Alec.
That was something different. Well done, boys. You just proved the two of yous are stupid.
You'll be stupid, I know, when you get to 74.
I'll never see your age, Davy. Come on.
You will. Keep drinking the bucky.
Oh, hey, stuff that. I'm going on the Maltesers if it gets you to 74.
Good on you. That's because I'm a good blue nose.
Aye, good man. Good man. I'm only kidding. That was something different. A wee bit of entertainment.
Oh, brilliant.
Anyway, Dottie for Lanzarote is back home, safe and sound.
I'd love to say we've missed you, but
I know you haven't. I gathered that. Listen, just a wee point here. Listen, Rangers are doing brilliant in Europe. Obviously, our runs the last 4 or 5 years has been exceptional. However, there's obviously the other side to that. Celtic have won 14 domestic trophies out of the last 18 played for. Are we, in essence, giving up domestic titles and trophies to progress in Europe? Which is more important? Finance
I'll give you an easy answer to that, mate. And I know you're a fan of the League Cup. You get 350,000 for winning the League Cup. We get 5 million for winning that one game on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Jaffa?
Well, that's a fact. I mean, that's the monetary aspect. It's the comparison between Europe and league football is, we all know about it, and it's massive. It's hugely different. The only thing I would say about that, Alec, is I think that statistics, using stats like that to say out of the last 18 years, I mean, a lot of that time, I think we all know as Rangers fans, we've been in the worst place as a club we've ever been in.
18 trophies it was, Jaffa. Sorry, Jaffa, it was 18 trophies. 18 Celtic have won 14 out of 18. Yep. Basically the last 6 years.
The last 6 years. So, again, Alec, I can only... I mean, and I'm sure I don't know how you feel about this, but the way I see that is we've only been recovering, and probably only in the last 3 years have actually been back to anything what looked like the Rangers team that we've all known. And even then, our transfer budget and what we've been spending compared to what Celtic have been spending it's been miles apart. And they had a team. We've literally had to build the club from the cinders of what was left. The club has been rebuilt. And that you can't deny. That's a fact. That's the truth.
We'll come back to that.
I don't know how you're going to complete for silverware.
We'll come back to it because it's a great point, and I'll go to Stevie about it. But we've been joined by Amanda, and we'll come back to the point, Alec. Evening, Amanda.
Sure.
Good evening, all. How are we?
Good to
Hi,
hear
Amanda.
from you, Amanda.
Hiya. No, I've just kind of tuned in there. But I want it all. I want everything. I want the league and the cup and the European glory and all. But I suppose it's as they were saying about finances and that there. What we got for that game on Tuesday night. I mean, God, that's unreal, isn't it? You know what I mean? But I'm just looking forward to the season ahead. I think it's going to be a good season for Rangers. And I mean, how high did Tillman jump to get that last goal the other night? I mean, good God. Superman couldn't jump that high to get to that shot.
I know. It was. Listen, I think he mugged the goalie and in the confidence to go and do it. I don't think any has thought he had that in his locker.
No.
Amanda.
So how are you all? Are you all okay?
We're good apart from Stevie. He's got a petted lip at the moment because Davey beat me. Come, Stevie.
Oh, poor Stevie.
And he's always on me.
And so it begins, isn't it? Right, listen, I'll let you go and let more callers come in, but it's good to be back, and I'll speak to you soon, okay?
Yep, that'll do.
Right.
Thanks, Amanda.
Bye.
This might cheer you up, Stevie. It's 6 now.
I hope they keep going. I hope they keep going. I really do. Listen, can I ask Alex something, right? Right, I'm a Glasgow Rangers man, right? And I think we're on the same wavelength when I say this. Every tournament we enter, we want to win. Would we not agree? Every tournament.
Yes.
But where we've got to behave ourselves a wee bit as for me, common sense has got to prevail. I'll give you a wee scenario, Alec, right? So Rangers in the semi-final against Leipzig, right? In the Europa League, right? To get us to the final. And we've got a League Cup the Saturday before the game and the Thursday, right? What would you be saying then? Let's just fling the boys on, keep the team good for Thursday night against Leipzig. It's only the League Cup. That's what we'd all be saying.
No, not at all, Steve. Listen, I know what you're coming from, but and going back to what Jaffa said as well, it doesn't make sense how we do so well in Europe, but we can't win domestic honours. You know, I mean, he's saying that Celtic were throwing money at their team, and that's basically why they've won the domestic honours. But why are they so poor in Europe then? And we're the reverse? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know whether it's the focus of the players, the focus of the management are there. It really just doesn't make sense for me, because we play so well, we play so different. I don't know whether it's the official factor. I don't know whether it's the VAR. We might find that out as it implements itself in the Scottish game. But there's something different, attitude-wise, about our players playing a domestic match and playing a European match.
If you take Stevie G's time, you know, when did we lost the first season? We lost to Aberdeen in the semi-final, didn't we? With no striker. And we played Morelos against their United and got booked, which was a mistake and a learning curve for Stevie G. We obviously lost the league that year, but competed. And then, if you think about it, who knocked us out the cup that year? Was it Aberdeen again? Aberdeen beat us at Ibrox.
Aberdeen again. Aye.
Aberdeen beat us at Ibrox, didn't we? Aye. Right, so we just get Stevie G's building the team. So that's gone back 4 years. Let's be honest. Murty, Kachina, playing side was a bit of a mess, Alec. Let's be honest, yeah.
Yep, but we still done well in Europe.
No under Murty.
We qualified for the. No. Under Gerrard the first year, we qualified for the section.
I made some outstanding results and we done okay, right? Right. So the second year, obviously, it was the COVID year when things changed and we lost to Hearts in the cup, which was a shambles, and I think there was a bit of unrest again, maybe with Alfie. The League Cup, we lost
in the final to Celtic.
Aye,
final to Celtic, wasn't it?
We should have won.
Yep.
You know, if it was a boxing match, it had been stopped. We were that far in front of them that day, yeah, and we missed a penalty. And Tav should have made it 148 by scoring it and no letting Alfie take it. Right, the following season, we went all in the league, and who knocked us out the League Cup? I'm trying to remember.
St Mirren beat us away, and St Johnstone beat us at Ibrox.
Aye, right. In a replay, both the games, both were shocking. They trophies were there to be competed for, and we should have done the treble that year, mate, and no let St Johnstone take the 2 trophies, mate. Yeah, that was a bad year. This year, let's see where we go. The League Cup, we're in the last 16. We play Queen of the South. That gets us to the quarter-finals. Then we're only 3 games away from winning it. But prioritising the way football's went now, it'll be Europe every time, mate. If you said to me, Alec, if you're asking me the question, win the League Cup or have that run last year, I don't think there's any comparison.
No, listen, you keep using the League Cup. Obviously, the League Cup's the kind of lesser of the 3 domestic trophies, but it's still part of the domestic treble. Are you basically saying that we're becoming the Arsenal of Scotland? We're just happy to, win money into these tournaments and no bother about domestic trophies, because that's not what our club's built on. You all know that. You all know what I'm saying.
It's what's good for the club, mate. It's what's good.
Well, I think success is good for the club.
Would you rather? Right, I'll turn it around. I'll go around the panel with us. Right. Would you rather that we'd won in penalty kicks in Seville and lost the Scottish Cup, Stevie? Oh, he's no answer. He's took the fifth. Jaffa?
No, I would rather have won in Seville.
Stevie?
Seville.
Davey?
Oh, Seville by a mile.
And you'd have rather won the Scottish Cup, Alex, yeah?
Not at all. I'll turn it around to you again then. Would you rather we would have done a double last year and get beat in the final or the semi-final? Because I would have. That's an entirely different question then.
Aye, we blew the league last year. There's no doubt about it, we blew the league. I don't think...
Can I come in?
Yeah, on you go, Stevie, on you come.
Listen, I get where you're coming from, right? The club is bound on winning through. I get everything you're saying, Alex. It's a different ball game now. It really is. It's always going to be a catch-22, that question. It can work both ways. The bottom line here for me is, as a club, as a business, after part, Europe's very important to keep our club alive, because look where our club was at one point in time, 2012. So finances really is to keep us ticking out as a business and keep our club safe. Finances is always going to be up there, as well as winning honours, Alec. So it's a real catch-22. I'm a Rangers fan. Every tournament I'm even shouting at the telly when the Rangers women are playing, because I want them to do well. And we're all the same. It could be two young boys playing heady football down in the street. One by Celtic that one by Rangers that one. Who are you shouting for? You're wanting to play, and it's only two Waynes playing. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. So it really is a hypothetical question in every sense that you either want, success, the League Cup? The League Cup, that's
Stevie,
nothing. The Glasgow Cup away. The Glasgow Cup used to be here, and that's away now. And it's forgotten about.
Right, well, Stevie, I'll turn that into fact then. Is our runs in Europe detrimental to us winning domestic trophies? Because that's what it looks like. We're playing that many games on top of every domestic game where our players are absolutely knackered become the end of the season. And that cost us the league. It's costing us a Scottish Cup.
I don't think it did cost us the league last year. If we're really honest, if you look back, individual errors, Alan McGregor cost us a few points. Gio got a few things wrong, had to hold on in the learning curve. I don't know what you think, Jaffa. If you look back the year before when we did win the league, look, we lost to St Mirren. We never played well, and we should have won the game. Big Bassey, let's be honest, Big Bassey's a nightmare. Got us 25 million months later.
Get the penalty away.
People didn't want him to play for the club again after that night going here. Yeah?
Correct.
So, look, people make mistakes. The year against St Johnstone, the two games, Jack Simpson caused the I think it was a penalty up there near the death, and then their goalie scored a goal in the last minute extra time after Tavernier got a goal. It was all individual errors, nothing to do with Europe. Jaffa, can you come?
Well, and the other thing as well, Alec, and I don't think anybody in their right mind, and this is a factual bit of information. If you don't believe that there was dark arts at play last season at the Christmas time and round about when the winter break was getting shut down and getting reopened and at different times for they allowed them to sign players, then you're wrong, because it did. Because they manipulated the rules. Because they've got control of the rule book. And that's another fact that we're playing with, because we often talk about referees and things that happened in games last year, the 7 minutes getting added on. And I know it sounds like an old record, and you win your own matches, I get that. But there are things happening, and outside sources happening in Scottish football. And that's an absolute fact. And then you take it another stage further, Alec. here's a bit of news that's just broke an hour ago. The SPFL and Sky are currently discussing a new TV deal. So the current TV deal that we have is for 48 games. That means that each game is worth currently £535,000. That's what they're paying for the 48 games. The new deal is for a 60-game package, and it's 29.5 million, which breaks down to 492 grand a game. So we're going for selling the football to Sky, our SPFL, our league, for 535,000 a game, and it's dropping down to 492. Great business, huh?
Shocking.
Just broke the night. Just broke the night.
One more thing.
Aye.
Can I say one more thing to Alec? Alec, again, I hope we're all singing off the one page. See the League Cup? I'll go to all the games where at Ibrox if I can get tickets home and away, and see if that Rangers team don't leave it all out there on their part. I'll be the first one to shout and ball at them, Alec. I want Rangers to win everything they enter. Everything they enter. That's just who we are. That's the animal that we are at Snowballs, and we want Rangers to beat everybody that plays in front of us. All these cups, they matter, Alec. That's the truth. They matter. They matter. Everything Rangers enter, I want them to win. Doesn't matter if it's a friendly tournament or no, we want them to win. And we take things serious, and we take things to the limit, because we're Rangers. But let's be honest, sometimes you've got to have common sense and say, right, we'll probably put all our eggs in the basket to go on that run, right? But still, we want to still win everything. Maybe it was we didn't have a good enough, big enough squad. We might have that this season. Let's see where we go. But that question you can still ask in 10-year time. No, Alec, you can still ask it. We keep up in domestic things and we're only interested in Europe. Europe's the big stage, mate. Europe's where you get recognised. Europe's where you save your club for years to come, mate. League Cup doesn't do that for you.
I get that 100%, and totally agree with all the points that you have made. But you just look at it for the outset, you know, how good we are in Europe, and how can you explain that? How good we are in Europe and how garbage they are in Europe. But then you turn that around and you look at the domestic cup success. We need to break that monopoly, guys. It's not good enough for our club. But you know,
we won the last cup, didn't we?
Aye, I know that's the start, but that's what we want to instill in the players, that winning mentality. You know,
we've also went. What was the longest period without winning the Scottish Cup? 25 years. Does that part of our history no count?
Of course it does. Of course it does.
No.
It was what, 13 years for the last cup success, wasn't it there?
Aye, 25 years. I think we made a hoodoo a 25 year. All right, only Europe, but it's done. Then was about.
Tunis didn't have a good record, did it? You know.
No.
Well, we're away for 6 years, guys. Remember that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right,
we still got to score.
You're going to have to come up with another question because you're new starting to bonus when you come on.
Hey, listen.
Every time you come on.
I go to stinking anyway.
Yeah, you're going to have to come up with something else. Yeah.
Okay.
Speak to your agent, Andy. He'll sort you out. No?
I'd rather speak to my bookie.
Southside's the man.
Oh, I'm doing all right myself.
I did hear.
Well, up the other night too, but well done, Southside. Super picks.
What did you make of the game on Tuesday night, Alec?
I thought we played well, to be honest with you. I was a wee bit surprised with the amount of criticism. Don't get me wrong, I'm still not happy with some of the lackadaisical defending. I think a better team will punish us, but certainly going forward, the team's full of invention, full of ideas, and I like Kovac. I think he's going to score his... I think him and Morelos, see when Morelos gets up to speed, I think they two, they'll ragdoll a few defenders, the two of them get going. I'm excited for the future ahead.
All right, we've been joined by somebody. Yeah, we've been joined by somebody with a bit of comment. Evening, Robert.
Evening, Oxter, Stevie, Gaffer, Mr. Kelly, Davey, and whoever else is on the show tonight.
Hi, Robert.
Hi guys, can I just say something? And I'm listening to the debate that you're talking about, and of course, as a Rangers fan, I mean, my first 10 years of my life, I never seen Rangers win a title, and we great players like John Gregg, Sandy Garden, Tom Forsyth, and we Alan McDonald. I never seen Rangers win a title for 10 years, and then I seen us win at Easter Road, and I was there. Then we get the two trebles.
We hardly won a cup. We hardly won a
We
cup.
hardly won a cup. I mean, the Oswald games, Tavernier, my favourite. Sandy Garden, my recollection, who was the greatest Rangers fullback ever, world class, only won 3 titles in maybe 16 or 17 years. So see all this talk about, Tavernier's only won 2 cups. A lot of nonsense. But I'd like to say to my pal Alex Kelly, Alex, see if you gave me a choice last season at the start of the season, and this is how I feel, and they all might disagree with me, Rangers to win the domestic treble or the Europa League, I would pick the Europa League over a domestic treble every day of the week. Know why? Because see the prestige that run at the Europa League final gave us. Who cares about winning the treble?
Robert, can I cut across you? This is breaking news. It's got. You've not heard this. Just have to let people know it's important. Just to let you know, the D United had a shot. Carry on.
No, see the thing I look at it is, who cares in England and Germany, Spain and all the world who wins a domestic treble in Scotland? Because also it's a Mickey Mouse league, and apart from the Glasgow Rangers it is. So see you go to a UEFA Cup final and win it, and then I would have been over the moon as 100,000 Rangers fans were, like Big Stevie and myself and all that, and yourself in Seville. I would have been at Helsinki yesterday with my boy, cheering on my club against the second finest team in the world, Real Madrid, in the Super Cup, and that's the difference to winning domestic trophies to doing well in Europe. See me do well in Europe, then you can say, you know what, we are the biggest club in the world. When domestic trebles don't do that for you, I'm sorry.
Robert, I don't think you should come on here and mention Seville, because I'm still waiting for you. Don't talk about Seville. I've still got the bruises for that Seville. Sleeping in train stations and sleeping in bus stations and airports and all that. That's what it is about a Rangers fan. I don't know that. I did sleep in Amsterdam's airport, and I slept in a train station in Seville and all that. No, I mean, because I was charging crazy money, £700 for a room for a night, and me and Gary slept in train stations and stuff, and I woke up with the blood running out my legs and stuff like that. But that's what Rangers fans do, and that's the beauty of going to Europe and all that. And football has changed. It's not all about the old days, let's win the treble. Of course we want to win the treble this season. Of course and that's the way we were all brought up with our fathers, and of course we want to win everything. Rangers play Celtic and Tiddlywinks, we want to win. But sometimes you've got to take a reality check, and Jaffa got it right. They've had it all their own way down there. They've had it all their own way with a £60 million wage budget. He spent over £20 million last year. What did Stevie Gerrard spend at the start of last season? What did Giovanni Van Bronckhorst spend? No, a lot compared to what they've been spending, and they've been spending it, and they've been player trading for how many years, and Rangers couldn't do it because they kicked us down to the lower league, and they kept us down there because they had to catch up in their 116 trophy haul. That's the reason they done it. Kick the Rangers down and keep them down. And see all these teams that play against us, they give it more against the Rangers than they'll ever do against that lot. So Alex, maybe that's why they're winning their domestic trophies than us, because everything's stacked against us. Only my opinion, guys. Sorry. Never thought I'd say this live on here, but I agree with Robert. Davey?
Spot on, by spot on. I mean, I didn't fancy sleeping in the station, but that just shows you the calibre of your support. Fantastic.
Well, I had a guy moved into the Sun Lounge, and he was raised for 5 days. Couldn't get a move. Squatters' rights.
We're crocodile.
Oh dear, don't talk about the crocodile in Jaffa.
Brilliant. Do you know the disappointing thing for me is, Ox, I couldn't find a donkey to paint white to charge into that swell at King Bully. I was raging so on.
Oh dear. I'm glad we can laugh. I didn't think I'd ever laugh about it, but I'm glad we can laugh now. I accept some of your point. I get it. We want to win every competition. You know, last year's semi-final against Hibs in the League Cup was disappointing. But then look at the circumstances. We didn't know what was coming. Giovanni, we just looked a mess. The players had to, players, they're human. They're human. And these players, Tavernier, Goldson and that, I'll go to Jaffa. We might not realise what we've got till they're not there, because their records are unbelievable.
Fuck, they are. I mean, we were chatting about that earlier on. You listen to some of those numbers, and listen, I'm not for a minute trying to say that James Tavernier is up there with Kevin De Bruyne and Suarez and all these other top professional footballers that have moved about for millions and millions. But at the end of the day, his numbers are in that bracket, and that's what he's contributing to our team. I mean, some of our players have been excelling in Europe over the last number of years and doing fantastic. And it only goes to wait. Yep.
Jaffa, how many goals has James Tavernier scored in Europe?
Don't know the exact number, Stevie. What is it? 30?
Right, so
35?
how have we not compared Captain James Henry Tavernier against these guys? Because he's doing it in Europe. He's assisting goal.
He was a top goal scorer in Europa League last season, James Henry. Somebody got excited. Right. Carry on, Jaffa, before you were rudely interrupted there.
No, I know the point, Stevie. I know you say, and I'm saying, I'm just saying, I'm not for a minute saying he's up there with the Kevin De Bruyne's of this world. I think James Tavernier is an absolutely wonderful player, and I think a lot of Rangers fans basically underrate him. Quite frankly, I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great captain. I think he holds the club in great regard, and he speaks with the club in great respect. He's a model professional. The guy lives his life as clean as a whistle. And for that, you couldn't ask for any more. You never hear about him doing clacky parties on a Saturday night. Some of the rest of them in the Glasgow teams.
Cleopatra takes me back. Memories.
Have you been following the Fox again?
But my point is, he's footballer. He's a great footballer for our club. I mean, and to answer the point about where we're seen as a club, just look at the move that Bassey's got to Ajax for €27 million, and Joe Aribo down to Southampton to the highly worldly place of Southampton, playing to stay in the EPL. But that's what you get when Joe Aribo's moved to treble his wages. So is Calvin Bassey moved to treble his wages, and that's what getting your run in Europe gets you. It's not just the money that we've earned, the 35, 40 million euros. We've earned another 30 million pounds on top of that in transfer fees. And that's what happens.
All right, let's put it this way then. We won the League Cup last year, and we go on and win the league. And Joe Aribo, he had a £10 million get-out clause, yeah? So he would have went for that money anyway, I think. How much does Bassey go for? 3 million, Robert?
Exactly that, and that's all he would have went for. And if we hadn't get that run to that final Seville, we'd have never get £23 million for Calvin Bassett, never in a million years, because playing a Scottish football and doing it against it, Mirren and all these teams, it doesn't count. Nobody's into it. When you start doing it in Europe, and look at Big Bassett, look at him, he was a man of the match by a mile in that final against Frankfurt, and that's how you make money. You know what I mean? And that's football's all, unfortunately, as Alex Kelly said in the past, it's greed with football, and that's the way it is. And the only way we can compete as a football club, nobody pittance we get after the Scottish Football League, what we do in Europe, gone to finals, and that's what we're all about. We want to compete against the best. Bring on the Ajax, bring on Real Madrid and Barcelona, because we want to compete, because we're the Glasgow Rangers. And that's the way I was brought up. Yeah, I want to win trophies, I want to win trebles, doubles, whatever, and I want to put that lot down there in their place. But at the end of the day, it's all about money nowadays. And if you want to attract the best and keep the best players, I'll tell you right now, if we beat PSV Eindhoven, which I think we can do it, watch the next day after we beat them, Alfredo Morelos and Ryan Kent will sign on the dot and extend their contract. But if we don't, well, I'm a wee bit worried. But I'm not going to be worried because I think we'll beat PSV Eindhoven.
Oh. Right, I think it's only right I gave AK the right to reply. AK.
No, I will reply, but I just want to let you know that's Dun United, sponsored by 7-Up.
All right, okay. I don't usually announce scores on here, but I think it was pretty well. Carry on, Alex.
Give us more. No, listen, Robert, I totally get. I mean, we had conversations, but we know where we're coming from. I know where Robert's coming from. We're trying to stabilise our club again in these kind of big European nights, and they're great going forward. But for me, I think the foundation of our club is success and trophies won, and I think it's about time we start stamping our authority over Scottish football again, starting with that treble this year. It's brilliant if we get to Champions League, don't get me wrong, but it's a completely different level of football than what we're used to. It's a step up for the Europa League, so I hope we do it next week. We're up against a team, that PSV, that spent over 200 million on their team, so that alone kind of gives you a gauge of the gap between the teams. But we've beat teams like that before, with your Benficas and your Leipzig and your Dortmund and that, so we know we can compete. It's difficult, yes, but I go back to domestic success is what we strive for now. We need to start winning domestic trophies for me.
Alec, you're just worried about Celtic catching up in your trophy hall. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're looking at the bigger picture as Robert rightly says, the prestige you get for being in Europe. The world's watching you, Alec. It's a world stage, even though it's in Europe. It's only in Europe. Everybody's watching. Everybody knows who Rangers are, where they came from, how great they are. When we had Gerrard, he said it. He gave us more respect back in Europe, and look where the clubs went. We're going straight up, Paul. We're looking at bigger and better things now every year. I want to see Real Madrid's at Ibrox. I want to see these teams. I know if we've got somebody in the cup on a Wednesday night, it's just as equally as important. I want all my players to leave it out there too. I get it in that way, but Alec, bigger picture. See if the Scottish SFA mentioned tomorrow that they were scrapping the cup. Who would care?
Wait a minute. We've been joined by an Alex with a bit of intelligence. Evening, Alex. We wish you.
Good evening, all, Chair. Stevie, Jaffa, Alec, Kelly, Davey, and also, who else is there? Sorry? Robert, right, beg your pardon. All right. I had a good debate. Thoroughly enjoying it. Firstly, I've got to say one thing, all, Chair, right? I respect everybody's opinion in that. Mm-hmm. But see, when I came out that game on Tuesday night, that's the first time I've ever come on the radio after a game, and it was in so high, felt brilliant that my team had won. And some of the comments that came on this radio station on Tuesday night was unbelievable.
Yep, here, Alec, you're totally right.
Well said.
My phone was pinging in the Wednesday morning, and a couple of the guys that were on the call were there. They were all saying some of the stuff, and I don't what people are entitled to their opinion, and it is a platform for Rangers supporters to come on, but we can all pick holes in anything, but a 3-0 victory, Alec, come on.
Well, that was us making history. I'm telling you, I was absolutely over the moon, me and the boys coming back. And okay, I respect everybody, but we need to wise up here, by the way. Everybody loves this club. There's some guys, I'll no matter what you'll do, they'll always find faults. And that's the bottom line of it. But I'll tell you one thing, I was never so happy, and I'm still happy now. And we've given us all a right good chance now. It's a 50-50 game, but we'll be there anyway.
Where do you stand in AK's point, mate? Where do you stand?
About the domestic, I can understand the league is the bread and butter. That's the most important one. But if you're asking me last year for the run in Europa, right through to go to that final, I'd do that every year. Honest to God, to win that Europa Cup would have been unbelievable. Because it's stuff of movie stars compared to we were 10 years ago. For us to go to a final, it's unbelievable. And see, in Europe, You've got to thank Stevie Gerrard and Giovanni. They've given us a platform. And this team, look, a European team. I know about domestic. I'm just watching a game here. They're getting beat 7-0. And Fox is quite right. It's the training and the coaching they get here. These Scottish teams can't all the days defend. All the days defend. And the time they've got to open up, they get absolutely murdered. And this is what it is. And Rangers will carry the torch here again.
Aye. Yep. Alex, AK, back in you come.
No, listen, I 100% respect where Alex is coming from there. And again, I agree with, I'm not arguing with anybody. I'm accepting all your points, but I'll throw another example at you. And it's the kind of reverse of where we are. I mean, we have got the history, domestic success, the trophies up on the wall. In that, Manchester City are through over £1 billion, say in the last 10 years, 12 years for the Arabs come in. And their domestic success is unequalled in that period of time, but they still can't win that Champions League. But they've won, 4 out of 5 the last domestic premierships. They've won FA Cups. They've won about 4 or 5 League Cups. So they're doing that we've got already. If you know where I'm coming from, but I just want to, stop focusing totally on Europe. And I'm not saying we're picking and choosing when we're winning games. I know, but I'm just saying it is vitally important for me as a supporter, the same as Stevie and yourselves. Us winning domestic trophies is equally as important as it is for the European success financially going forward.
I get everything you're saying, Ali. I really do. I get everything you're saying. I think all the boys do as well. Of course, everything we enter as a Rangers team, they tell you one game at a time. Lena Martel, one game at a time. So if Rangers were to meet somebody in the Wednesday night against whoever, I want that Rangers team to leave everything out in that park. I want them to win, get through and win every domestic trophy there is. Nobody's arguing against that, Ali. And we know you're no arguing with us either, but you've got to admit, it's just a different animal completely. When you go on a European run the way we have the last 3 or 4 years, getting into the ODI games, and the memories I've built with my boy getting through the games and the atmospheres that I've been in, you'll never get them in domestic cups, Ali. Never. And the money, it's just a business 100%. A business sense, Ali. These board of directors, what they're more interested in. They're interested in keeping that wage bill, looking after the club for after where we've been. And I think the people off the park have done a great job with our club for where we've came from. The runs on, even on the park, we've done absolutely tremendous in my eyes for where we've came from and what we've done. Now, this year, I'm expecting us to win a couple of cups. I'm going to be honest. I'm really looking at whether we go a run in Europe as well, because I think we've got a bigger and better squad this year. And injuries, let's be honest, we played in Europe. It was fairy tale stuff. We played without a centre forward. we get beat by a penalty kick. We took the paint off the cup, man. And think if we won that cup, we'd have played Real Madrid last night. How did that game go, by the way? Does anybody know?
2-0.
2-0 Madrid.
Stevie.
It was a good game, actually.
And I'll tell you, there'd be a lot more people there if we were in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Unbelievable. Yes, Robert, on you go.
Stevie, can I just what you're talking about there, pal, and touching on Stevie, reverse back to the night against RB Leipzig at Ibrox, right? Now, I don't know about you, but I would imagine, Stevie, I don't imagine, I know at the minute saying a father and a son get along to the game. Stevie, see the full-time whistle and I'm up the club deck with my Gary. My Gary's 31 years of age. He's not a young boy, right? And I turned around and I looked at my Gary and the tears are streaming down his face. And I bet your wee Jamba was the same. Stevie, you don't get better feelings than that. See when you look at your son and the tears are streaming down his face and he goes, Dad, thank you for making me a bear. I just love you so much. Stevie, does it come any better than that?
Well, listen, I was there to him at Blackpool. Stevie come back, 2 pies. Jamba looked at him, said, one for me, Dan. He said, don't be so stupid. There was tears in his eyes then and all, you know what I mean? Brilliant. Stevie, in you come.
That's I don't know, the tears off my face here.
Stevie, in you come.
Every comment's been fantastic. Alex as well, came in about. That's what I started off with, the comments. But we move on. I'm more concerned what Stevie was saying about. This is a real concern. I think they really need to do something about their pies.
Stevie, in you come, mate. In you come.
Right, listen, Blackpool, that's a true story, and you were wild not to mention any true stories on here. Rob, getting back to Robert's story, Robert, the Leipzig game for me is the best atmosphere, the best game. There was not a dry eye up the back of that Copeland Road. You could have put a canoe in the amount of tears that were flooding down these stairs. And can I tell you something? I'll take a wee while for that to be matched again. And as I've said to everybody tonight, me and Jambo have got our wee rituals, gone to the game, get into the game, what we do, touch for man Daz brick, and everything else, and then we go up and we get something to eat and all the rest of it. And there's no greater feeling when your boy hugs you. And as you said, thanks for making me a bear. You're born a Rangers man. You know what I mean? You're born a bear. You know what I mean? Listen, and it's traditions. As Alex saying, let's be honest, all our traditions, our foundations is winning trophies. We get where Alex coming from, but see the European prestige, Alex, the League Cups, the Scottish Cups and things like that don't compare. Obviously, we want to win the League because that gets you into Europe, that gets you into the big stage. You know what I mean? Look what we've done and they've walked in the back door. It's unbelievable how these people can even lift their head above the parapet. It really is. It's a joke. But getting back to Oxford and Blackpool, now, don't start talking about Blackpool or these true stories about me knocking the boy a pie, because there was a certain man that owned the Big Dipper twice and left me standing with all the jackets and went back on it again, and I didn't know. So don't you start your
I'm sorry, I apologise. Felt sorry for the boy, but I had to get down and get my hot dog. Right. Yes, mate.
I was just going to say, to back up what Jaffa said earlier regarding the finances, the new contract with TV, it basically comes down to that then, doesn't it? Money. Money is, if you get that backing you first and foremost, then you can afford to look at Europe as no as much success as what we are, because that's what the English are. They're laden with money. Every single club that they've got is laden with money, so they're not worried about that. So they can afford, to take their eye off the ball, basically.
Aye, the trouble is, but the clubs down there, mate, they're not making fortunes. And I'll go to Jaffa again with their wage bills. Jaffa, the players are taking the money out of the game, aren't they?
Aye. Well, they are. I mean, you look at clubs like, Watford and the clubs that were relegated last season. They've got wage bills. Their wage bills nearly knocking £200 million, and yeah, they're getting £200 million to every season they play in the EPL. But as Ox says, with respect, there's clubs in England that, like Watford and the Burnleys of this world, they are not EPL clubs. They're not in the same. They're not in the same size as what our club is, what Rangers is. Nowhere near it. Aye, the top six are. We're probably about the same size fan base wise, but not in turnover. Not when you look at Man City, Alec, when they're turning over nearly £500 million.
If you take the TV revenue away, we dwarf Villa, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. Aston Villa only have a turnover of about £40 million. They've only got about 27,000 season ticket holders. But they're getting £200 million or £220 million, I think it is now, for getting into the EPL every year. So that's why they can go out and spend £20 million and pay guys like, the boy they got from Barcelona, Coutinho. They're paying him, I think, the best part of £180,000 a week. That they can do that, we can't, and that's the fundamental difference, Alec. We're coming at it for a completely, the actual 180 degrees there difference, because we've got no TV revenue. Every penny we earn is, and if you look at our accounts, which will come out in November, I suspect our turnover is probably going to be somewhere about 90 million, but half of that's made up of the Europa League run. That's the difference. That's what we need to survive.
I've had some messages, Jaffa, just to correct you on something you said. It was always called Cleopatra's till Fox turned up with two lady friends and it became Clatty Pats. Carry on. Carry on, Jaffa.
Yeah, it's just we're coming at it from a different angle, Alec, and I know we're on. Listen, I agree with you. I obviously want to win as many domestic trophies. I want, like the rest of us, we're all Bears. I want Rangers to win everything that they get into, every league campaign, every cup. I mean, I want to go to and tan Hibs in the cup. I mean, last year I was in Hampden and I was gutted when we were getting beat 3-0 with Hibs. Gutted. Absolutely raging mad I was. But then everything transpired, Gerrard was away, the club was in between managers. And I'm not looking for excuses, but things happen for a reason. Listen, we were rubbish on the day, these things happen. I hated that. I want to win the League Cup and the Scottish Cup like every other Rangers supporter. But I do believe, Ali, and I stand by my point, there's dark forces at work in Scottish football, and that's a fact.
Alex Favishaw. And you come, mate. Voice of reason. Always a voice of reason.
Jaffa's completely right. Listen, I follow this club everywhere. Like Big Stevie and that, home and away. We get the tickets and that. I'm getting there Queen of the South in the League Cup game. I'm expecting Rangers to go and win the League Cup. Every cup we're participating, I want to see us winning. The Scottish Cup last year, that could be the monkey off the back now. That gave us a winning the mentality at Hampden. We've all been there and we've been beaten semi-finals and finals. This year could be your year. And every Rangers fan I know want Rangers to win everything. Domestically, love it, name earned to win that League Cup. But also, would you call it, want to beat PSV and get in the Champions League? Because that's where we are. We're a European team. And it's on that forefront that everybody takes notice. It's not Scottish football, unfortunately. But that's us. That's where we are. But we will get back to winning domestic titles and cups and that. No fear of that.
Aye, okay. Right, we're going to just change the subject slightly. Well, thanks, AK. Thanks for prompting debate. We've had water tables. We've talked about pies tonight. We've had the Big Dipper. We've had Cleopatra's. We've had in the debate that you thing. So you never know where this is going to take you. So we're going to game on Saturday against St Johnstone. We'll start looking at it briefly before we go. Robert, I'll go to Robert. Robert, what would your thinking be and the personnel you would pick for Saturday's game, mate?
My opinion and my personnel would be go out and suffocate them and go all out attack. Don't have two holding midfielders. Go out all in attack and score goals and get guys like Ben Davis. I think this guy's going to come into the team because we need to get, the only way of getting minutes is playing the game and the only way of getting fitness is playing the game. So I want to see Big Ben Davis get more minutes into Alfie because you know what? Alfie's our greatest goal scorer in European football and I think we're going to need him on Tuesday night. So get minutes into as many players and go for the first whistle to the last whistle, suffocate them and score goals. That's what I'm saying about Saturday. And I think we will. I'll give you my prediction now. Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0.
It can't be that Southside said different. Alex Favishaw?
I agree with Robert there. I think it'll be about 4 or 5.
Oh, right.
And I would play. Ben Davis is fit. I'd like to see the guy getting a start. If he plays on Saturday, I'll be ready for Tuesday.
Okay. Would you play the young left back?
That's the debate. Well, if they play him on Saturday, they'll need to play him on Tuesday. That's how I look at it now. Because we've got to get the defence right. We can't be mucking about him no more because we're up against it, I know here. If they play him, fair enough. If they don't, I'm not really bothered.
Stevie?
Play the B team. We've got a big game in Europe during the week.
Never mind the league.
We're all laughing. Listen, remember we played Hearts there at the end of the season and the B team, basically the Bears were singing them, you're getting humped by the B team, remember? the boys would beat them before the Scottish Cup final. Listen, just I'm with what most of you are saying. Get out there, suffocate them, get a couple of goals at them, and then let's get key players time off the bench, get them on the park, get minutes into the legs, and just keep one eye on Wednesday night. That would be what I would say.
Jaffa? Oh, Davey. And you come, Davey?
Yeah, agree with most of the comments there. I would start with, well, depending on the fitness after that game there, but I would start the strongest team I could pick. Get into them, turn them over right away, good drop and change, because we've got a good squad. We've got a better squad this year than what we had when we go to the Europa League final and won the Scottish. So I think now he's getting himself into where he wants to be, and he could take it for there on Saturday, depending. As I've always said, but you know what's going to happen. The whistle goes, they'll go back, we go forward. So we've got to keep beating that. I'm very confident.
AK.
I'm agreeing with Robert. I think Morelos needs some game time. I think Ben Davis needs some game time. I would be bringing Steve Davis back into the midfield if we can. Begin with Postman Pat, start on the left back position. We're advanced.
You hear everybody laughing.
Tumbleweed dog in here.
Bomber for me. Bomber all day long.
Jaffa, mate.
I wouldn't make too many changes to the team on Saturday, to be honest with you. I would certainly change up the midfield a wee bit and maybe give Lundstrom a rest. Like Ali, I'd probably have Stephen Davis back in there. I thought he was exceptional last week against Kilmarnock, and he's very good at that. He's good at that low block that playing against it. So I thought Stephen Davis was brilliant, and possibly I would just play the same back four to start with. If that's the back four he's going to go with, get a couple of goals and get them off early. Get Kent some game time and get Morelos some game time. That would be my plan.
All right, okay. Well, gentlemen, and AK, we've reached that time of the evening. Give us a shout out. Davey, the Malteser kid, quickly.
Yes, champion of the quiz. That'll do me.
Good man. Alex Wishaw.
Another fantastic show. Well done, Oxley, and all the panel. Everybody takes part. Brilliant.
Robert.
It's a privilege being on Rangers Radio tonight, especially with a proper bear like Big Stevie for the drum. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Yes.
Big suit. AK.
I'm not up coming for that, man. I'll tell you right now, I'm lapping it up.
If I want some abuse, I can go upstairs and speak to your wife, but I come on here and get just as much.
Sometimes in life you get what you deserve.
Thanks for your time, boys. Great show.
Well done. Thanks, AK. Big Stevie.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. It's fluent. I've enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, we've had some laughs, you say. We've been to Clatty Pats. We've been through Europe. We want to win the best Davies milk. We've had everything tonight. It's been absolute. And can I just return it to Robert? See what Robert said about his boy greeting. Dad, thanks for making me a bear. There's no greater feeling, believe me. No greater feeling. Your boy hugging me the Bears score. It's more happy places with our boys. And thanks for Rangers Radio. What a platform it is for the Bears to get everything after chest. Doesn't matter where it is. Tickets for Clatty Pats, tickets for games. Doesn't matter. It's all on Rangers Radio. Thanks for having me, boys. It's a pleasure sharing the same stage with Jaffa and all the boys.
Over to you, Jaffa.
Thanks a lot, Stevie. Thanks. It was a great show, great debate, I have to say. Brilliant debate, Ox. Brilliant on Rangers Radio as usual. It's full of laughs and full of great serious stuff as well. And as just to echo what Stevie said, best platform around for all the Rangers fans, and it's free.
Here. It is. Right, thanks to everybody. Thanks to the two Alex. Thanks to Robert. Thanks to old Davey. And of course, thanks to Stevie and Jaffa for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night talking about all things Rangers. And we'll be joined by, let me make sure I get this right. We'll be joined by Port and GB are with us tomorrow night in the Bridge. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.
The boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We support the Glasgow Rangers, do not Ibrox is the place. And we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago, the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe, we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys